How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole, and today we're going to be talking about solo leveling. The second season is currently out. There are 2 episodes currently, right? I think it's out every Saturday, a new episode.
And I watched them.
And Jack watched them, even though there is no dub, I don't think, for those 2 episodes, right? Okay.
It's not.
Oh, God.
Solo Leveling is a manhwa adaptation, so it's South Korean. Chibi put me on it, I think, a year, 2 years ago when we first started the show.
Minute, yeah.
I have my thoughts on it. It's going to differ from everybody else's. That's fine. But let's start with Jack, because we waited for Jack for almost a month to get this one. I think we recommended it. We're like, I don't know. We kept talking about around this show, like multiple episodes. We were just like, you think Jack's going to like this? I'm like, Jack will love it. But I want to start with Jack first. Jack, I like Solo Leveling so far, buddy.
I did really like it. Yeah, it's definitely my cup of tea. I really enjoy at least the beginning where Jinwoo is this underdog who everybody believed was this weak guy because when he awakened he was rank E.
Yeah.
And then he goes through the double dungeon and then becomes this like what Ken says, this overpowered dude.
Is he not overpowered?
He is very overpowered.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
He's overpowered, but they didn't reflect that with many of the boss fights. At least there was some challenge during the boss fights. Now, the minions and all that, he crushed, of course.
Yeah, go on.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You good, Chibi? Everything?
Yeah.
Are the dogs settled in the background? I was curious because I saw Katsu too, just kind of like chilling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, he left.
Jack, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad there's something out there for you to watch that is your cup of tea, because normally it's like, if it's not doing this, I don't like it. And that's completely fine. Brad?
This is the opinion I wanted to see.
I already know. I know Brad. Brad's look at him. He's watched listen. Those of you just watching the show, this guy who was pretty much like on the edge of watching anime has become fully involved.
It makes me so happy.
Which is weird. Because when I first talked to him, I was like, do you want to do this show? And he was like, yeah, I could do it. And I was like, oh, wow. He's like committed now.
I love it.
Brad, show them the glove, dude. What are you doing?
I threw it way behind me. I don't have it on me anymore.
Tell me what your thoughts on the show, man.
So that first episode is probably one of my favorite episodes of any anime so far. It goes hard in the paint.
Fantastic.
Very quickly. But then the following like 4 or 5 episodes, it really just falls off a cliff. Now, I will say I do appreciate that it does show the figuring out process. I feel like a lot of animes kind of skip over that. They kind of just time phase the initial part, like Kaiju number 8. I think there was like a 3-month skip, like right after So he escaped from the hospital, and then it was just like 3 months later he was back at his job, and then like I would have liked to have seen the him trying to figure everything out.
Right.
So in this one they do show that, but there's not a whole lot of story in there. Like it's literally it's almost filler, just him like messing up and doing training and figuring out how everything works, it's cool. It's just kind of slow, like the next 5-6 episodes. And then it ends on a very strong note. That last episode is pretty badass, but then it just stops. It's like you're like, wow, that looks really cool, but now I have to wait forever. And now I get to watch 1 episode a week for the next 8 years.
There's been criticism about a couple of shows that have done that recently, where it feels like it's going to have multiple parts, and it just kind of cuts off at a very odd way. We just watched something that did that. I can't remember what the anime was.
Dan,
right? And we're like, you're ending at like one of the most like pivotal parts of the manga
right.
too. And I was like, why would you cut off here, like literally on this cliffhanger, and you're not going to get to see anything till like June? And I feel like with Solo Leveling, it actually cut off in a place where technically you can be like, all right, cool, he gets a new ability, right? We just don't get to see that ability in action until this season, right? But I think it's because they're just trying to, I think the way they're running Solo Leveling is essentially just arcs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I think I have a different disposition because I know what's coming. But like I agree with Brad. I think like it can be very slow at first and like the cutoff seems very abrasive. But like technically, like in my viewpoint, like in the manga, like or the manhwa, that is kind of like the first like ending of an arc and then they transition to like the next coming one. So like when it was airing, I was like, I can see where they were going. And it sucks though because you do want to see additional stuff, but it technically is around like where the arc ends, I think.
I mean,
So that's like I started to get invested. That was the thing, was like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first episode's awesome. And
yeah.
then you kind of just watch him kind of fumble
Mhm,
through
mhm,
several episodes. And then the last like two
mhm.
and a half episodes,
You're like,
you're like, all right, I'm starting to
yeah.
figure it out. Like this is starting to become pretty cool. And then it's just like, all right, it just ends. All right, cool. Yeah, great.
You're like,
Fantastic.
fuck me.
Chibi, before I give my opinion, because you were the one that recommended it to me, go ahead. I trusted. Listen, I've also read the manhwa because you told me to. I'm not gonna lie. I was not a fan of like.
Great.
I was not a fan of the way like some of the arcs like near the end get a little bit
Uh-huh.
too
Well,
repetitive, which is
Great.
kind of frustrating.
let me interrupt real quick. What's the difference between manhwa and manga?
Just
So,
South Korean.
yeah, it's South
Oh,
Korean,
One's
and
okay.
no, but the
one's
whole thing is
Philippine.
colored. Like they color it and stuff. Like it's not just
Gotcha.
black and white. It's like a comic.
Brad,
So
I
that's
don't.
what I was gonna say too. Like definitely read it. I think it's worth a
Brad, I
read.
don't think you've
Yeah.
ever seen Filipino shows before, brother. Like you haven't seen. I don't know, Jack. Have you seen? Did you have TFC when
No.
you were younger? It's called the
No.
Filipino channel back in the day, bro. They used to cost like on DirecTV. That shit used to cost like I think $50 to $60 to get because it was
Oh
international.
shit.
Bro, that
Worth it.
It's not great. it's very
Oh, I
cheaply
bet.
produced. Chibi, but go on, please.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is what I was gonna say earlier. I think because for me, this was one of the first genres where I kind of explored like not my typical one. So I think personally that's why I really liked it because it was different than what I normally had read. And so I know for you, we've had this conversation where you were saying, like, there's just a lot of stuff out there that's very similar to this. And on that point, like, I get it. Like, when you kind of read this, if you have like a very vast knowledge of this type of category, like, it's probably like nothing crazy, nothing special. But for like me, having this as like my first like big change in genre, I thought it was fantastic. Like, I don't know, I've always appreciated like an underdog, quote unquote, where they start off really weak and then
Yeah.
you see the progression into something strong. But to your point, for him, he does become very strong very quickly. But I like the integration of the video game aspect where he has to level up, he has to do certain things. I think that part was really cool. I love the dungeon aspect as well, where he gets these random keys, and we'll kind of see this further on, where you don't know where it'll take you, but it's somewhere really neat, like that no one knows about. So I kind of like having that viewpoint in his eyes of him being quote unquote almost like the chosen one, and you guys get to see that journey.
It's
So I don't know. I
to-
still think the mod was great.
I'm not disagreeing with what
Yeah,
anyone's take
yeah.
is. And I'm not saying that if you watch this you think it's bad. Like here's the thing.
No, I get what you're saying.
I
Though,
think
with
it's a
it being like
popcorn film.
repetitive.
I think it's a popcorn flick. I do. I think that like once you start getting
Oh, I love
deeper and
popcorn.
deeper into this manhwa, you're like watching it, and you're like, okay, a lot of it gets repetitive. My biggest beef is I really enjoyed his character early because he was unsure of himself and he was like trying to learn. And then his transition to this new version of himself. Listen, I've watched K-dramas. Okay. My wife watches K-dramas. I have friends who like recommend it. My mom is a big K-drama fan, right? Don't know how that transition happened. But it feels like his character is essentially a K-drama protagonist. He's edgy and stoic and all that bullshit. And one of the things that I don't like is when a character is constantly like put into situations where I know that they will constantly be safe in when they fight. And his character is so fucking grossly overpowered. It's not plot armor with him. He is just like, it's like the way they set him up is to be grossly overpowered. And when you get to this part where it's like he's constantly saying like he's getting annoyed with this enemy, and then somehow he just pulls it out, right, with this new ability that's uber fucking strong. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
The animation and fights, very cool. Like one of the coolest things I saw in this was when he caught that arrow and then immediately split apart 3 elves. I was like, that is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But to me, when I see this, I'm like, okay, I've seen isekai like this.
Yeah.
I've also seen Shangri-La Frontier, which pretty much did the same thing, but
I
it was
do
set
like
in an MMO,
Shangri-La Frontier.
right?
Yeah,
I
I
like
do like
Shangri-La Frontier.
Shangri-La. I do. It's so good.
But like, I feel like his character essentially undergoes this transformation that I've seen in a lot of manhwas, and I don't understand why that happens. There's a manhwa chibi, it's like fight school, fight club. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I've heard of it.
They take the protagonist from like this really chippy kind of guy who's learning how to fight and become this like MMA fighter to a fucking demon. Like, and I'm like, why are we pushing this like type of image on this guy who becomes standoffish and he's brutal? And I'm like,
I think the only way I can justify it in my head, and sorry to cut you off, is like it's I guess from like an author standpoint, this is how like I'm logicking it. It's because of like how quote unquote harsh that transition is of like what you're struggling, like it actually changes like your disposition and your character.
but
Like,
there's,
but I think they take it too far,
but
to
like,
your point, because I agree. When I was watching or reading it too, I was like, why is this like character like so standoffish? You know, like you said, stoic. Like it felt very abrupt, and I was like,
but this is kind of common in K-dramas where you always
Mhm.
have that one character who's like cold as ice or super harsh, part of this weird organization and has to go through all these things. And when you watch something like Shangri-La Frontier, I'll tell you why I try to compare the two, because the way they separate abilities. In Shangri-La Frontier, the protagonist does struggle and does lose, and you see him lose, and then you see the effects of the loss and how he progresses to be better. Here it's like the first episode, like Brad said, goes hard as fuck. The dude gets his limbs chopped off, man. That shit is
crazy.
I haven't seen something like that. I think Blood Sea did the same thing. Like it's like very in your
Yeah.
face and visceral.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that, so like my thing was that character goes through all that training, initially wakes up and is still kind of the same person, but very just more curious. And then at a certain point, it's like that turn feels so abrupt to becoming this really dark, badass character. And it essentially checks every box of every power scaling anime I've seen, every battle anime I've seen. And while I think the fights are really fun, reading the manhwa, I was like, some of this is kind of getting repetitive. And I understand why people would be fans of it if you've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that, Solo Leveling is fun to watch. Like, I really feel like A1 Pictures, who I think have just crushed it recently with like Nier Automata. And here I was like, look, man, you guys are really picking up the animation stuff. I get why it took so long to kind of get this. But when we talked about this initially 2 years ago, I had noticed that like this manhwa was taking like a lot of stuff from other manga, right? I was like, okay, little borrowing points here and there. And then eventually I got to like see it in motion, and I was trying so hard the first season. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I know you were.
I'm
I know
gonna
you
keep an
were.
open mind.
I
I'm gonna
appreciate
like it. And then I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, you were like,
And then I got to
So-
season 2 and I was like, dude, okay, these fights are really cool. But then like after I just watched it all the way through, I was like, okay, so the guy's super strong. Like, I'm waiting for his struggle again. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see him struggle because it would make him more interesting. That's how I felt about him the first time he
yeah,
was learning.
that's fair.
Jack,
And I
you had
can
a comment?
Yeah, I can understand your comment on him being overpowered and all that, but the one thing that I can appreciate is that
No.
with every boss fight he had something different that he retrieved from another dungeon that amplified his power for the next fight. Now I can see it becoming boring, especially if in future episodes and seasons that they stop amplifying his moves with something different.
Well, I think like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I think like when you see this type of character, what like while the overpowered part of it is like can be interesting, they just don't go about it in an interesting way. Like,
Yeah.
I love the fact that he can kill people and then summon them, but it feels like the guy has like, and also, why is everyone such a douchebag in this world, dude?
Oh, I know.
Like, every A hunter wants to kill him. The S hunter brother, I can't remember the guy's name. It's the prototypical bald
Yeah, yeah.
gangster, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's just a fucking tool at times, except for like maybe some
I
people.
guess it's just the world. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, if you got monsters up the woozah, like you don't know if you're gonna live to see the next day. I mean, I could see my disposition changing. Like, I think that's what you have to like kind of realize too, it's a completely different world. Like
I
their
think
lives
it's
are
that
kind of on the line.
I think it's that elitism or classism.
True.
Like
Mhm.
with every S class or A class, it's like they know exactly what they are, and everyone below them is definitely below
when I
them.
see
Quite
that,
true.
but when I see that, right, that's why I say like I've seen this before. You see it in a ton of
Yeah.
battle anime. You see it in a ton of power scaling.
86, yeah.
86, yep.
Yeah.
You see it, but like it's, you know, what I was waiting for was like an interesting dynamic between characters, right? I was waiting for, you know, if you're a K drama fan, you're like, where's the romance, bro? Like, when
Oh,
are
that comes later.
When are two people gonna meet? They're gonna have that like the meet cute, right, where they hit each other when they're fighting, and then they just fall in love and shit, right?
Well,
That
that's
type of
when
stuff.
Just fall
what was
in
that?
love.
Choi
Yeah.
Oh, I
thought
forget
he
who.
was talking to her in the car. Was that second episode?
Yeah.
When they, yeah.
Where's the dramatic stop so I can listen to music while they fucking lovingly look at each other from afar? If you've never watched K-drama, that happens all the time. It's the weirdest.
It's so
thing.
great.
It's in
so
every
Waiting for
show. It's in every
the
show.
standing in the rain.
Yeah.
great.
One guy, what the girl always has the umbrella while the guy's just looking at her, and then he gets hit by a car somehow and survives. I don't know. It's like,
Isekai. Truck-kun.
but like I literally, because we watched Shangri-La Frontier, that's what I also compared it to when I saw like, oh,
Yeah.
he's pulling abilities out, and like, you know, the portals and stuff like that. That's not anything. You know, I'm not saying that. I really like the fact that it locks dungeons and there's like specific people that can go in, that type of stuff, right? I was like, oh, this is just like Gate. Gate is that manga came out
Oh.
fucking years ago, dude. Where pretty much they were Gate
Gate?
show. It's called Gate.
Yeah.
Oh, that you
Gate.
said that you said something else. All right.
Gate. Gate. Okay. And in Gate, right? What's really funny is that like they have these like, you know, it's just like what we're seeing,
Gates.
right? And it goes
They
into a
have
different
gates.
world. But the difference is that we go in with the military and we show these fucking savages with,
Jesus
with
Christ.
machine guns and Apaches blowing them apart. It's really funny.
Isn't there like fucking 5 different plots to Gate though? Like,
Yeah. Oh,
doesn't it
there's
get so convoluted?
they've done I think they've done like 4 or 5 different spin-offs of
Oh
it.
my god. Yeah.
I just it's interesting because I really feel like Tower of God, Solo Leveling, and
TOG.
TOG, right?
Screw
No.
you, Rachel.
Yeah. But who's that? What's the high school? The King of High School, right? Was that the one where they fought? It was like the fighting.
Um,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
But
Where they're like gods or whatever.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
for Jack, like with
Percy
Manhwa, it's
Jackson.
like it's really weird because I feel like Solo Leveling had this like unique art style, and it has literally spread to a bunch of manhwa. Like a lot of them look very similar. But you know, I'm not saying like you can't like the show. I just look at it as like, you know, it's a blockbuster. It's like Michael Bay, that type of shit, right? And you know, one of the
Oh yeah.
you know, that type of stuff. It's really cool to look at, and I'm really glad that A1 Picture, because I think people were skeptical about that too. Like, how does Solo Leveling come out? Has the action happen in it? And I just think like, you know, it's one of those shows that I feel like if I turn my mind off, I'll enjoy it more. You know, because I don't want to question any of the stuff happening. I do think that like the greater mystery of like what's happening with, you know, how he got his ability, how he's the chosen one, that type of stuff. I do want to see that answered if it does
Yeah,
get
that'd be
answered.
nice.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd like more interactions with characters, meaningful dialogue, that type of stuff. I feel like we're, you know, hopefully we get that, other than just two dudes just like looking really angry at each other, transforming into monsters and trying to kill each other, that type of stuff. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah. No, I'm assuming that's what we're gonna get in season 2. I mean, to my knowledge, it's pretty on par with the manga, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I will say. Like if you read the manhwa, it's pretty like almost frame by frame. Like it is
And that's good.
pretty good. Yeah.
And that's good because you really like, to me, I feel like this is complete, right? Soul Living's done. It's completed.
I think they have a sequel too.
Oh god, they don't need
Ragnarok.
It's with his son.
He doesn't need a kid. If this kid as a kid as fucking like him, he's just like, I don't like you. It's like, why?
Cha.
Why do you hate me?
Cha.
I
Can you
would.
summon those things again? Cha.
How come I can't summon those little dudes? Do I have to kill people too? I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god.
That was people like trashing
Yeah,
on Boruto.
Let my man alone.
I do agree. I think it'll add a lot more depth to the story if they do add
I'm
what you said, Ken.
Yeah, I'm hoping so because like when the initial mystery is fucking awesome. Like
Mhm.
when I mean, come on, dude. Like they go into the gate. He's thinking like it's a routine thing. He's just taking up the rear guard, right, with
No,
his
poor
friend.
boy.
And then the dude's like, "Hey, we're gonna sacrifice." And then you see like people getting selfish and killing each other. It's like that dragged you in. It's like that's awesome, you know. And then you're just like Brad said, like, what are we doing for the next like 6 episodes? Let's show him like
Yeah.
getting lifted and stuff. And I made a joke with Brad yesterday. I was like, "Where's the fan service?" I'm like, "He is the fan service.
He is the fan service.
He is the fan service."
That man becomes a K-drama
That-
king.
That man, I'm
bro.
telling you, the moment he cut his hair differently, I was like, dude, you
I
look
was
like
like, shoot. I was the nurses.
there's a show, there's a movie that came out years ago. It's called The Man from Nowhere.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Phenomenal movie. Like you want like a dark brooding drama with like amazing action. The Man from Nowhere, watch that. It's fantastic. It's
I
on
think I've
Netflix.
seen it on Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch that shit. Watch it, dude. It is tremendous.
Okay.
Like brutal. The guy who acts in it, he used to do like, I think he's only done like 6 films, but everything he's done is critically acclaimed. Everything. And he just like stopped acting after The Man from Nowhere. He's like, fucking I'm
Oh
done.
shit.
Because he's a former, K-pop star too.
Let me
I think
see.
he married a model too, so it was crazy. But The Man from Nowhere is brutal. So when like he cut his hair, and I was like, oh shit, you look like
yeah.
old boy. You look like that one guy. This is really doing it. So like I said, I don't disagree if you like it. I'm just saying like I tried it twice. I try to be like open-minded. I really like the action. I just feel like I've seen this before, and I also think like it's just been, it's one of those things where we get far too many anime recently where it's like, characters are overly powered, and the one thing that really separates them, or they have like a broken ability, and the one thing that really separates them is their personality, right, and the interactions with the world. And that's what I'm kind of waiting on. I want that meaningful stuff to happen. Because you look at a character like Subaru from ReZero, right? He's not like a strong character per se, but he has an incredibly broken ability where he dies and then goes back to before his death, and he dies like 1,000 times. So but like it never breaks his character. He always finds ways to like pick himself up and do stuff. He's a very interesting protagonist in that regard. And that's what I was waiting for here. I was like, okay, so he's not going to be super edgy all the time, is he? And I'm like, holy shit, is he just like this? I don't like you. It's like Brad's cowlick. Brad, show off.
He said,
Right? Brad got in the full cowlick mode. He just flicks it back, and that's how.
I was wearing a hat at the gym, and that's usually what happens.
Oh my god. So, Jack, tell me what your favorite part is so far of Solo Leveling.
Favorite part.
What was your favorite scene? I already told mine. That elf scene was so cool.
Elf scene was cool.
He kills all the bears. That was rude.
I did enjoy when he started, when he achieved the whole, when he did the job change, mission, or dungeon, or whatever you want to call
Was
it.
that the one where he was
It was like towards the end.
It was the last, yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he fought the Crimson Blood Knight or something like that.
Igris.
Igris, yeah.
Relax, Brad. All right.
And it was really cool when he accepted that new job of being a necromancer, and then had the ability to summon demons that he.
I knew Jack would love it. He was like watching this, and he goes, "Dude, Emissary of Darkness would hit so hard right now," and he pulls it. So he watches next. Let me see it. I want to be a necromancer too, bro. Pulls up Path of Exile too. Let me summon the dead.
That's what I play as in Diablo sometimes.
Oh, dude. I just want Jack to just show up on the podcast one day with like black face mascara and stuff like that. How are you guys doing?
What's up?
I've always said I was always meant to be like gothic in a way, but like
You were a
I would
B-boy
look
instead.
I would look stupid as fuck dressing up as gothic.
Jack went the typical Filipino route, right? We go B-boy or we play like some basketball or some shit, right?
Basketball.
That's
He's got his chain out and stuff like that. How many chains did you have? Don't lie to me either. 2? Was it 2?
I had 2.
I knew it. I fucking knew it, dude.
So don't lie to me.
Was one of them the cross, or did you have like the platinum, the fake platinum on? Don't bullshit me, dude, because I had fake.
I had the S chain looking one, and then
Yeah!
I wore a rope that had
You
my
wore the ro-
dad's. My dad gave me an anchor.
Yeah.
What about you, Ken? Don't lie.
Oh, I had a fucking I don't want to say I stole this, but like I
You probably did.
I had like the fake platinum chain, right? The rope and stuff like that, but it also had like the S on it. It was pretty dope.
You
And then
stole that from Japan too.
I had another one
do-
that was like a dragon on it.
I do have I have like a sterling silver cross with fake
I
diamonds.
know
in
you do, bro. We,
it.
And it spins.
I just,
Yeah, right.
dude, them shits were expensive, bro. If you try to get them,
They were at the time.
That's
Yeah.
why you stole it.
You think I'm gonna pay $200 for a chain? The fuck out of here! I know that shit's fake. Don't you lie to me? You selling that at the corner store of a fucking on the
He
corner?
said, don't mind if I do. Thanks, Obasa.
I just walk up, have one of my buddies walk by, snatch it, and be like,
Maybe one of these podcasts, I'll bring out the cross.
"Oh, I
Do a
don't,
little lumpia.
I don't have it.
Little
I don't,
lumpia.
I don't have
Little
any,
bring
I don't
'em
have
out.
any of that shit anymore. But that's what you need to
He
do,
said I hid the evidence.
bro. No, I fucking I sold them shits.
Oh, I still have my Averex watch that
Do you?
had diamonds on it. Yeah.
Fake diamonds? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Hold on, Jack. Did you have your ears pierced?
I did.
I knew it. I didn't.
I
Dude.
only had one ear pierced.
That was the one thing I don't think. Oh, the only one. That was the one thing my parents would have fucking lost their mind, bro. If I would have showed up with the two studs and shit
Yeah.
like that, I would have gotten
No,
shot.
I had my ear pierced. I
I
had my
get
tongue
3.
pierced.
That's right.
Oh, you had your tongue pierced?
I had my tongue pierced.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm scared of.
I feel
You
like
wild.
Jack would have like his eyebrow pierced too.
Yeah, I
But-
could see the eyebrow.
But I feel like
piercing.
if he went that way, right, that's because he's going full goth and stuff like that.
I can see him with a piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on that corner.
It chains to his ear.
I used to have the chains that you wear with your wallet too.
Yeah, I know it, dude. I do it. He had the Jenko pants.
No, I didn't have Jankos.
Don't fucking lie to me.
I didn't have Jankos.
He's like,
I could never wear Jankos.
He's like, you wouldn't understand me, mom.
Don't understand this life.
Playing My Chemical Romance in his car, the Black Parade. All right, back on topic.
Sorry, we got
Jesus.
derailed. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about our favorite parts of the show
Oh,
so
okay.
far. Brad,
Okay.
what was your favorite part so far?
Yeah.
All right, fuck.
He already answered this.
This man
well,
got
so
so
I'm-
happy about
yeah.
Egress. He was like, Egress?
Well, okay, so
I have the wiki
that's-
up too, asshole.
Yeah. well, okay, so I played the mobile game. It's a fantastic
Me
gotcha.
too. I thought it was too. I loved it.
It was-
I
it was okay.
hyper-fixated.
It's
Is
a
it on
gotcha
con-
games.
I thought isn't it on console too? Am I
It's
wrong?
on
No,
Steam.
I got it
Yeah,
on
it's
my
on,
phone.
it is on PC. But it gets very gotcha. At some point, you just hit a wall unless you drop like
Yeah.
$100. But
No, he's
it's
right.
kind of stupid. So I
Genshin
only dropped like
Impact.
200.
Yeah, imagine.
So obviously that first episode,
Mhm.
the Igress fight was pretty dope.
Pretty cool.
So I actually really like when he murdered Axe Dude and transformed him into Iron,
Oh,
the Iron Shadow.
Oh yeah.
the rank A
Kim.
guy. Yeah, Kim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter Kim.
I honestly, I was like blanking out. I was like, is that the brother? Like, is that? Do they know each other? Is that the brother that he was that wanted to kill him? I was like, no, that's not him. He's not from America.
But I like the shadow that he becomes. Like just the last quarter of the last episode. Just
Oh, Iron. Yeah.
it looks like he's going to be a little bit of the comedic relief, and that is something that the show needs, is a little bit of
It
more
was funny
humor.
when he kept on pounding, and then
It's like
and then he looks at the warlocks or whatever, and they like cheer.
No, he looks at him to scare him first, and like, yeah, he's like, "Arr, fuck yeah. Yeah, I thought that was like a really cool scene. The fact
Yeah.
that he was like, utilize. I mean, because the ability is overpowered, right? And then he acknowledged that the Egress was like way stronger than him. But I'm like, no one fucking knows that, dude. I mean, you're able to beat him, so I don't. That's just what I'm saying. I don't believe anything this dude says because you're the main character. Like, unless you die in front of us and then like we have to resurrect you or some shit, or you have to like fight to get your powers back, then okay. But yeah. I was kind of hoping like some of the other hunters who hate him so we're like kind of like, I would say like if you're A rank or up, you should know that this dude is like a fucking humongous threat, right? you're looking
So
at
you just
like,
sense it.
yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Like if the elves are like, you're fucking dangerous. Every one of these hunters should have been like, ooh, this guy's why is he here? Why is he in his business clothes? He's showing all black and stuff.
No, I mean that's why that one girl knew. She was like, "I'm staying with him."
you,
Like,
you you saw
Yeah.
the arrow, right? That type of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was good.
Chibi, what's your favorite part so far? But I mean, besides him
Um,
taking his shirt off, and so you can be like, "Oh my god, dude, I'm a
Oh
oh,
my god.
oh my god. No, I mean I agree with Brad. I really liked the first episode or like the first two, like the whole sequence. I mean, I'm not one for like, gory shit or anything like that, but like I thought like the risk was so high, you know what I mean? Like I felt the fear. Like I was like, shit, like, oh. And I think that's like what really got me too when I was reading the manhwa. And then I think for the first season, I think the ending too, the whole fight with Egress I thought was pretty neat. And then, doing his arise bullshit I thought was nice. But I'm excited to see
yeah." I think
what's gonna go from there.
I just think this is a great show visually.
Yeah.
Because when you watch because I have like some problems with certain anime where they get too colorful or they get too busy. That was kind of
Mhm.
like my only issue with, I think, one of the Demon Slayer fights where it was like so much
Mm.
shit was happening and I was like, where the fuck are we
Am
going
I
with this,
looking?
man?
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to look on the screen? Here it's like it's clear like this is where you're supposed to look. This is how we're supposed to like work with our lines, all that type of stuff. And I think they executed that really well. I also thought it was kind of weird though. I don't know if anyone in the second episode of the or episode 14, episode 2 of the second
Mhm,
season,
mhm.
when like
Oh, I haven't watched that one
he's
yet.
oh damn it.
Oh no, I've read it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Where
Yeah.
he's getting rushed, right? Like it's like he's
Yeah.
getting both sides. And they have a scene where like he slams the ground, right? Because he's summoning Egress. And
Mhm.
then the elf is like, I don't think I see it. But then they like awkwardly cut to like just moments
Yeah.
before. And I was like,
Yeah, and they do it again.
I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second,
Yeah.
did we fuck this up somehow? Like, hold
That was weird.
I was so confused. I was like, are we recapping in the middle of an episode?
You're like, did I accidentally hit back
Yeah,
forward? Like
it did
back?
feel like that.
Yeah.
I was the most awkward recap I'd ever seen because usually like transitions you get to see like a different POV of a character. And here it's like the same POV, but he's like, I see what
Weird.
you're doing,
What
bro.
almost felt like
Okay.
that point was supposed to be a commercial or something like
Yeah,
that.
or like like one of those weird middle transitions like Brotherhood where they'd be
They
like,
should
"Full Metal
literally just
Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist."
cut to an ad of like just Jack in the Box or something. I'm hungry. It's like, what the fuck?
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah,
and then
because when it cut, I was like, that was weird. Like I don't know if that was supposed to
Interesting.
happen. Yeah, it was the.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they clean, maybe they clean it up later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll,
that'd be
I'll,
nice.
They make
when
it
I
even
watch
more
it, I'll
messy.
let you know.
Vote that shit, man.
Yeah. No,
but
it literally looked like that's where a commercial should have been. And then when
Interesting,
they come
yeah.
back, it's how
Well,
they start over
yeah.
that little.
So
Weird.
when I watched it, it did catch me off guard. I assumed it was like that was him like planning ahead of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So it was like you
Oh.
were seeing what he was thinking of doing,
Oh,
and then
it
he
could be
did it.
that. It could be that.
That's the way I interpreted it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But it was a weird cut.
Okay.
It's
That makes sense when you say that. Yeah.
It is weird that it was like frame for frame the exact same thing that happened.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
that
weird.
is,
Yeah.
that
Like,
is
yeah, it was very weird stylistically. I was like, are we just cutting to like the same thing, but just showing the guy behind him? Y'all could have done that in one shot. Like, you guys did not have to go back to show what this dude was thinking, unless you just want to show him off again. I guess whatever, So, Jack, Jingwoo's character, like,
Mhm.
what do you think of his? Like, which characterization did you like more, like the early or what he is now? I'm just curious because I want to hear your answers so I can. Please say the edgy one.
You like proved me right.
Please prove me right, dude. Jack's like, I'm him. That's Shaq's new cosplay.
I think
Tall and
the
Korean.
in between part where he just did the double dungeon
Mhm.
and he's learning the stuff. He seems a bit more humble about it. Where and just before the edginess, where he becomes cold shouldered all the time.
Where he kills humans and stuff like that with no remorse and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
kind of like that was probably the a part that was like kind of jarring when we started killing people, and I was like, oh no, this is how we become the edgelord.
The
And then
system told him to.
yeah,
It was kill or be killed.
it was the Matrix, bro. The Matrix said you got to do this, big dog, otherwise Neo ain't coming back for the next movie. All right, I was just curious. I was like, man, come on, Jack, let me prove me right. I like when he's edgy. You know what I'm saying? When he's tall, dark, and angry.
Now, if any of y'all could have any of the abilities that he gained, which would it be?
Summoning. That's broken by
Yeah.
itself.
I
Like-
think it's cool, but like, could I kill people and do it? Kill creatures.
And that's the thing, is that like I feel like I was hoping we'd reach a point like, when he's killing these characters and bringing them back, and summoning them again, it's kind of like, he's not killing anyone that you don't like, that you don't think is a good person, right? So I don't think there was ever going to be like a clash of morality with this character. That's kind of like what I'm saying. Like, as edgy as he is, he technically is kind of a safe character if you think about it, right? The guy you're kind of expecting him not to like. He's gonna get challenged, I assume, right? He's gonna get challenged. But it's like, does he ever get to the point where he feels like he has to take an innocent's life, or is he kind of like that dark
He
protector?
takes his own life to summon himself.
I think what's going to happen is he's going to
calm down, Sasuke.
I think he's going to face a challenging decision where it's either he uses the elixir of life or he uses it on his mother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need more information, but like, dude, I swear, and Chiba, I know you've read the manual, and I had people. I went on Reddit because I literally typed in. I was like, "Oh, is solo leveling bad?" And like the comments on it on Reddit, it was really funny because they're like, "Man, I might be in the minority," but then everyone was like, "Yeah, man, the manual is like, don't think about it too much. Like, just kind of, it's popcorn,
Enjoy
it's
it,
filler. There's a
yeah.
lot of stuff that's like very shallow, and I've always felt like these are the types of ones you can have a lot of fun with, but I want to see it. I want to see the protagonist struggle a little bit. Like, don't just say it. Don't say it's a tough fight, and then fucking just like walk out and beat the dude's ass. He's like, I have a new ability because I just pressed this here button, and now I have new sword. Stab, 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 stab. I don't want to see all that, because I think that eventually then it becomes less interesting. Because you have this great conflict of a character. You have this character who mysteriously has this power. Like, why is he the chosen one? Why do they have to maim him to get to that point? You know what I mean?
He's being groomed to be the big bad guy.
That
The
would be
system is
the
system is the actual bad.
That's something that I would love. Like, because he's
You
That'd
mean
be
like
cool,
the
of
guy
course.
that's in the double dungeon?
yeah,
Like he replaces him?
yeah, that would be great, right? Do I think
That'd
it's
be a
ever
cool
gonna? Do I
twist.
think it's gonna be a cool twist? Like, no, absolutely not. Like I said, I think this is a Michael Bay flick, right? But in Korean, and Michael Bay would watch this and love it, but he also have like more explosions. He's like, you're not blowing shit up enough. All right?
Yeah.
I would
Blow up
have
this
detonated C4 and blew up that. You guys are cutting off that polar bear's head. No, we're blowing that.
Dude, that
bad boy up.
shit was gruesome. I was like, ooh. Let's
When he cut the head off? No, I think
Yeah.
that was.
I know. I mean, it was on par, but it was like,
gruesome
oh,
part.
fuck,
The
man.
gruesome part was when the polar bear hit the dude's shield and broke its hand on it.
Oh
that-
yeah.
that
was
cool.
Yeah,
But like
it felt for my guy.
But I'm hoping that like all the some of the hunters, like the higher ups, the ones who are jealous, like they're not like all complete dickheads, man. Like, I mean, there's got to be some redeemable
think
ones. You know what I
so.
mean?
No, I think there were, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
there was
like
that one.
the manager guy. Is it Woo
I don't remember
Jin?
their names.
The guy who got choked out.
No,
No, the guy that stood between the two S
Oh, yeah.
ranks
Yeah.
that stopped him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just an overpowered one that nobody really knows about yet.
Mm.
Oh, we always
Or
have those.
they're
always
I
love
mean-
those characters who are like, "Are you really powerful?" And they do like one thing in the series, and they're like, "My job here is done." It's like, but you didn't do anything. It's like, you shut the fuck up.
You sit down.
Everybody gets one. Okay.
Because I didn't think he was a hunter until he went in between those two S ranks and stopped them from both punching each other.
Yeah.
well, he said he was like, thank God y'all both led up, because I would have lost both of my arms. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know. But
What if he
did
lost
sound
like
like-
his human arms, but he gains like ant arms? It's like
Gained 6 arms in its place.
this guy's a lizard. He's a liar.
No. So Jack asked me what ability I would want of his. The unlimited inventory, right? Just being able to summon things out of
Yeah,
thin
that
air.
actually
I was
pretty
gonna say the MMO nerd, fucking one. The guy who takes so long when you play any game with him, who's like, I gotta go back to town. I gotta work on my
Loot
inventory.
Goblin.
Every time we play Path of Exile 2, every time I'm like, let's go fight this boss, Brad's like, I gotta go back. And he'll like be gone for 30 fucking minutes. And he's
I
like,
respect it.
I gotta
Min-maxing, man.
I was like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, you're like min-maxing. I'm like, dude, who cares, bro? Let me swing on one of these guys. You're gonna die in the first 20 seconds, Brad. Just let me.
That is true.
or Chris dies. And then he has to ask, like, why am I dying?
He's like, there's a dodge button?
There's
oh my god, I didn't know.
Yeah, dude, Path of Exile 2 is crazy. Okay, so I would normally ask, like, are you gonna continue watching this throughout the entire season? Like, is there anything like I know, Chibi, I know you are. I got you. Brad, you're gonna, are you gonna wait to, instead of picking up like every week, you're gonna wait till you can binge it?
No, I'll probably keep up with it.
Good.
I would like to wait for the dub, but
yeah,
I heard the dub is
probably-
pretty good. For
I mean,
it, too.
I'm pretty
Dub's
sure
pretty good.
Jack had to be struggling these 2 episodes. He's like, brother, I
No,
can't.
I was so into it because I was so
Oh.
captured by it in the dubbed version. I was like, man, I can't not
I
watch
can't
this.
wait.
That's because
Yeah.
what Jack did was that he found a way to take the subtitles and put them to the center of the screen. He's like, I know what he's saying.
he had Google Translate
Google
earbuds in.
Translate, right?
Yeah.
But he had the subtitles like increasingly large. He's like this. I get it. Tahi the sound it out, baby boy. All right, yeah. I like I said, I think it's fine. I think it's a fun anime. I'm sorry I disappointed Chiba, but like I didn't say it was a bad anime.
okay.
I said that it was.
Fine.
It's good. but
You
it's
implied
just-
it.
He definitely he
Yeah.
explicitly said it. but
I
for the
impli-
sake of this
I-
episode, he's playing the good guy.
No, I'm not. I'll literally argue with anybody. I think it's I think it's a popcorn flick, right? I think this is like the Zack Snyder of anime. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, Jack got mad. He's like, Zack Snyder's amazing. Have you seen the slow motion? Helps me watch. Okay, so with the Soul Leveling out of the way, there are a couple other debuts. I think one most notably is Sakamoto Days, and I have been looking forward to that adaptation. And I was Jack, I think you'll like it too. It's on Netflix currently. I think there's 1 episode out right now. There is a dub.
That was gonna be my question.
I said to Brad, well, it was weird because I saw like the 2nd episode was available on like Daily Motion. I don't know why both episodes are out there, whatever, but it's I like the animation. I thought it was really good. So for those who don't know what Sakamoto Days is, pretty much Taro Sakamoto is a convenience store clerk. He looks really hefty and out of shape. He is a former assassin. He is the lead assassin. He's like the guy. And then he got married, and his wife pretty much made a deal with his wife where he would not kill again. And so when you watch him beat the shit out of all these different assassins, he is not killing any of them, even though it is very brutal. There's a one of the things I've told people before, like if you ever read the manga has some of the greatest paneling I've ever seen in terms of like
Really?
art. Oh, it's fantastic. And I had read that people were kind of disappointed with the animation stuff, but because they saw the trailer. No, it's really good. Really, really good. I told Brad he couldn't watch it though because Matthew Mercer is the main character. Matthew Mercer does Sakamoto, and Brad.
Really?
Every time Brad watches anything, this dude stops. He's like, "That's Matthew Mercer." And I'm like, "Why does that matter to you, dude?"
I love Matthew
His-
Mercer. No, I do the same shit though. He plays so
his
many of my
voice is
Persona
just so-
characters.
yeah.
No, it was like I sat there and I was like, "Is that Matthew Mercer?"
I do this shit all the time. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy.
It didn't like ruin the enjoyment, but I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know Matthew Mercer was supposed to Sakamoto. That's just a bonus." Yeah. So
man, now I gotta watch it dub. Fuck.
what's interesting about Sakamoto Days is that when people, it is a quintessential like think of like have you ever watched the movie Wanted, where it had like the
Yeah.
assassins? Yeah, think of that.
Yeah.
Where the assassins are like integrating everyday life, and they're all pretty much superhumans. And what's really funny is that when you watch how the population reacts to them, they just think they're just there. They're like, you're seeing dudes like jump off motorcycles, split motorcycles in half, explode it, throw crazy shit, and they're just like, what's going on? That's it. And it's fantastic. I'm a huge fan so far. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but I'm excited about that. I know the Apothecary Diaries had its second season out. I did not watch any of that yet, Chibi. There's
either.
this, yeah.
Dude, I have no time. Holy shit, I gotta watch it. Oh my god.
Apothecary Diaries has its second season out. I think Shangri-La Frontiers in the middle of his second season. They brought back a show that I didn't think they were gonna brought back. It's called Toilet Bound Hanako. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I've heard of that one. I've heard
So I shit you not. Like that has some of the most
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
That has some of the most striking art I have ever seen in anime.
That's what I've heard.
It is gorgeous, and I was like, "What is this?" And it's actually the first season. I remember when it came out because when you watch these shows, you're like, "It smells like 12 episodes." Basically, that's what it was, and I was like, "They're not going to continue it, even though it ended on a cliffhanger like 7 years ago. It's back, and the first episode was really good. So there's that. Big fan. So I'm pretty excited for this year in terms of anime and stuff like that. So I think with Soul Leveling out of the way, who's up next? Is it Jack or Brad? I think it's Jack.
Is it me?
I think it's
We'll go with Jack. Why not?
Time.
So Jack's on a current streak of one good anime.
Let him cook.
It's his personal best.
The personal best. We're rocking here. Let's go. I'm very curious as to see what he does.
I don't know. A lot of people have been trying to get me to watch Fate.
Which one?
That's what I'm saying.
There's like 8 of them shits. I did not know that was based on a light novel too, or like whatever, a game. There's like a visual novel of it. Somehow they took this visual novel and made it like pretty much Ufotable. I think like the introduction to Ufotable for the mainstream, because Ufotable is like they literally call it Unlimited Blade Works, right? That's like the one that's very popular.
Yeah.
When you watch it, you're gonna say to yourself, "That's unlimited budget works," because holy crap, the fight scenes in Fate is insane.
That's what I've heard too.
I was like, "What is going on?" And it's also very brutal too. Like it's about the Battle of the Holy Grail. Every person has like every character like that's represented has a hero, and every hero like they have a kind of a familiar, and the familiars kind of cycle through. Right, you have Saber, who's essentially like King Arthur. You have, all these like Lancer, all that stuff, and I pretty much like every time they have like a different, I guess, cycle. Like it's always like something different. Like Saber's not always a hero. Saber can sometimes be like a villain, that type of stuff. Very cool though. Like the animation is like out of this world. I was very shocked when they first showed it. I was like, this is way too much for me. Like very shiny and bright. But yeah.
Yeah,
really
it's a lot of big fights too, apparently.
Big fight scenes, baby.
Now,
if you don't want to take this time, Jack, and you want to pass it on to Brad has a list.
Oh, you already have a list?
Brad has had a list because his buddy gives him a list. And he has a lot on it. Good.
Yeah, the one that I have on my list is Stay Night.
Fate Stay Night. Well, I think that's it was like Fate Stay Night Unlimited.
Either that or Zero.
Yeah. Pick whatever one you want to do, man. We can watch School Days. We can watch whatever you want, big dog.
Well, have you guys already seen it?
I've seen
Fate.
Dude, I'm telling you this. Like, there's multiple Fate series.
Yeah.
Curious.
You get what I'm saying? You know me?
Yeah. I feel you.
Do you want to want Fate Stay like Unlimited Blade Works? Because that's like the really big one. That's the one that's like really popular.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where it's. Wait, I think it's on Crunchyroll. I don't know. We'll see.
It's on
Fate
Crunchyroll.
Stay Night, Fate.
There's
the lead
25
liner,
episodes.
Fate Stay Night Unlimited
It's like
Blade.
it's like Gundam.
Fate Stay Night Heaven's Field. Fate Grand Carnival. Fate Strange Fake. Oh, there's more. Wait.
There's so many.
I'd like to choose
Fate
something
Grand
that
Order.
none of us have ever seen.
Yeah, we did that.
I mean,
remember?
I've never seen Fate.
Jack, you remember when we did that, buddy? And it ended up being a pervy one?
That was crazy.
You remember that? The first episode, just titties in my face, big dog. What's going
mean,
on?
Hey,
That one's a live action. What the heck?
Whoa, chill.
Yo, erased.
I think everyone's watched that but Jack.
what's that?
Erased.
Erased. I haven't watched that yet.
I
Brad-
started it, but
Brad cried in
I
that
have
one.
not.
I like that one a lot.
You can look something up if you want, and then like
Yeah, I'll
talk
look
about-
something up.
and give us suggestions for ones that we have not watched. I think
Yeah. I'm gonna look at the new list on Crunchyroll.
I think for Pixelated Thoughts, I was hoping that the Switch 2 announcement gets made next week, and then we can discuss it for when I get back from the cruise, because I want to talk to Brad. I want Brad to have time to like think about the Switch 2 and whether or not it's gonna be what we want. Me and Brad, straight up, have said this multiple times. We want a 1080p dock. That is it. Like, we have very low expectations for the Switch. That is an 8-year-old console. I really enjoy it. I got to play the new Mario Party with my kid. She's a sore loser.
It's from you.
Shit, that dude. She thinks I'm bullying like the entire time. I'm like, dude, you're 6.
As
Like,
you are.
You're 6 and you can't read. You're learning how to read. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah.
I did bully my wife though. That is completely true. She got really
Damn.
into a mini game, and I was just like, "You're not beating me on this." And she's like, "What the
Hey.
fuck?"
Let her win.
But I would give them like 1 star. But like my daughter, she inadvertently betrayed my wife, and we gave the AI. The AI all the stars, and we were like, and my wife got so mad. She's like, it's like, what happened to me? I had 2 stars where I was gonna win. I was like, the kid
Damn.
chose poorly.
That is so funny. Actually.
So I'm really
Imagine
hoping.
you're grounded.
I do want to talk about the Switch too, because like I really think Nintendo, this is a big year for Nintendo. And do you have a Switch?
Yeah.
You do?
I just don't
Yeah.
play it a lot, but I got it for COVID, and then I played it a little bit after, and then we'll play it for like party games, like when people come over and stuff. But I don't like actively play it.
It's I almost exclusively use it for Jackbox.
Yeah, I do
Like,
a
that
lot
is-
of
Oh,
like
really?
Jackbox, Mario Party, Mario Kart, like
Yeah, I think
party
it's
games.
I
Just Dance.
I love the Switch, but like Brad, we talked about this before. He's pretty much like almost sworn off of it until like the
Yeah,
Switch 2 comes out.
I'm just it's dead to me at this at this
And I
in time.
I think that's a good. I think it's it's one of those things where it's like it's time. I mean, 8 years is a long time to have something out, and the Switch is uber successful, right? I mean, over 100 million consoles sold. We get it, and there's been like a bunch of leaks about the Switch 2. And mine and Brad's prediction is like we're just hoping that it does 1080p or at least close to it, and that it's somewhat of a visual upgrade, because a lot of the games on there, and Chibi, you know this, they smear. Like there's like
Yeah.
a lot of screen tearing, and it's like, man, come on, we got to work
Yeah.
on that. Jack is quietly looking through all the anime and stuff like that. I'm excited to see what I'm excited to see what Jack pulls up, and hopefully he doesn't just like look at the name. It's like, this one's fine. Jack, that's a hentai, sir. We cannot watch that. We cannot review that on here.
I bet he's gonna pick Parasite.
I have that on my list.
Have you? I've seen the live
I
action.
do like Parasite.
I haven't watched it yet.
The movie on Netflix.
I've
Pretty
actually
good.
Oh
haven't
yeah,
finished
Parasite,
it.
yeah.
I think it's a show though. I think it's the show Parasite. It's really good, really fun. Alrighty, so do we have anything else? Anybody got anything to pass? Yeah. Oh no. Okay. She saluted. I don't know why. Brad, what do you got for me, buddy? What's been going on?
Nope.
What have you watched anime wise recently? Have you watched any new
Uh,
season stuff?
New season? I don't think so.
He's watching hentai. I knew it.
No, I finished A Returner's Magic Should Be Special. Wrong way to use healing magic.
Well, Brad's more
Um,
knowledgeable than me, bro. It's crazy.
I started.
Dude, I'm telling you, like the thing about Brad, and even our buddy Josh. There's another Josh, but
Mhm.
this guy did not watch anime. He watched our show. He watched our podcast and went, "I'm gonna watch some of these anime." And now he's like playing Persona.
Let's go.
I think
love that.
I think he's beaten Persona 3.
Let's go.
I
Mhm.
think
Worst.
he's close to Persona 5. I think he's close to beating Persona 5. I can't remember.
That's my guy.
He
That's
really
my
liked
god.
Metaphor. right?
Mhm.
So technically, our show for some people that we know is a gateway drug to anime.
That makes me so happy. That's
That's-
the whole point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if only Chibi would
Too bad it's just Josh.
push this more to her Discord.
I gave you permission to post because you know I don't get home until like 8 o'clock Eastern every fucking day. I give you permission. And then I come home, I feed the dogs, I walk them, I do one fucking game of TFT, and it's time for vet dog. What do you expect from me?
Oh no,
Effort.
effort a little bit. Copy and paste. There she bro. Oh, we're in the middle of the show. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, fuck. A little bit of schmeffert.
I'm just gonna sit here.
I don't listen. I'm not.
Got him.
I'm not saying. Any big streams planned for either of you? I'm leaving you out, Brad. You're not.
That's fair. I mean, that's fine.
No, I've been starting to stream often on weekends.
Nice.
I'd like to start doing it during the week, but weekends seem to be the easiest right now. I'm
Dude.
trying to find something that I can just consistently play.
You play Hunt Showdown a lot, dude.
I've been playing that a lot. Yeah.
Never invites me.
I have invited you.
You have in the past, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen you play a few times, and I'm like, okay, cool, no invite. That's great. It's fantastic.
I should add you to the Hunt Showdown group page then.
I swear to God, Brad is so dramatic.
But
I am. That's my only quality that I have. So
yeah, we know. We know. We all know. JB, what about
but
you?
I'm
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Jack.
my bad. Last thing, I'm about 2,000 away from hitting 20K total since starting. So
20K.
since starting in September
dislikes?
2020.
Extra
20
life.
20,000.
Oh, extra life. Oh my God.
Yeah, 20,000 in
I was like,
donations.
I knew, Jack.
I was like,
I
when
knew.
did Jack get 20,000 followers on Twitch? That was great.
Oh no, I'm far from that.
That's good though, man. 20K. It's good.
Yeah.
Glad you're
Getting there.
fundraising. JB, what about you? What's upcoming? Anything?
I don't know. Can I put in the effort, man? Let's see.
Oh my God! There you go.
Oh no.
Oh, I love being petty. Oh, it's so fun.
You're not
No,
as
I've been
funny.
actually. So I did a stream on Monday that went pretty well. I
Mhm.
tried out Marvel Rivals, and
What'd you think?
I
you didn't invite
honestly,
me.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I actually did pretty well for me. Like, never. Maybe I played one game before that. But I
Who'd you-
strangely like
who'd
felt
you-
better about
Who'd you
it.
play?
I played Mantis.
Mantis.
I just tried out. Like, I wanted to try healing first. Mantis, I did really good, bro.
Actually,
and within
Mantis
one
is
game,
really good.
I was gonna say one game. I think I had like 15K healing. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
I think
noob
they
numbers.
I think they nerfed. Shut up, dude. I think they nerfed her too. They gave her.
yeah, I like her a lot.
in terms of speed because she's very fast, which was
Mhm.
kind of eye opening.
I'd be getting away.
I
Yeah.
like.
No,
Did you guys hear
Sorry,
what they
go ahead.
banned? In they
Mm-mm.
banned like the custom skins because there's a lot of
Where-
nude skins on Marvel
Oh.
Rivals and stuff like that.
oh,
I know Sue Storm's in there. I was because people call Marvel Rivals like it's the Gooner game, okay? Because
yeah.
essentially like every character in that is just
Yeah.
stacked. And then they had Sue Storm, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they showed her alternate costume, and I was like, guys, this is why people call this the Gooner game, because you have like her pretty much in a two-piece, essentially, looking thick. Okay.
It's her Malice costume. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. Where's She-Hulk? Where is she?
They're not ready for that yet.
But they are seriously like,
You have to get over Squirrel Girl first.
Oh my
Brad,
God.
is NetEase 10 cent?
Is it 10 cent?
Yeah, is it 10
no,
cent?
it's,
No.
I think it's just NetEase.
It's okay. Yeah, 10 cent's kind of fucked. 10 cent, for those who don't know, a little bit of news if you're watching this far. 10 cent was identified by the United States government as a
10 cent.
threat. That's because it's operated by, they think it's like a Chinese government.
Doesn't
Oh.
Discord isn't Discord owned by Tencent?
Brother, I don't know, man. But let me tell
No,
you something.
somebody was talking about this that like Riot was like affiliated or something.
Riot is
too.
affiliated.
Yeah.
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 There's
the government, the Chinese government party owns a stake in
Mhm.
NetEase. I think it's only like 15% or something, but like there is direct influence from the government into this company. So
Yeah.
the government.
I mean,
You know.
I'm just gonna say this. This is my piece. Okay, the government's more than likely going to ban TikTok on January 19th.
Mhm.
People are so petty that they have moved.
I'm going to Red Room,
that
bro.
they have moved to Red Note,
Let's go. Red Note.
Red
Sorry.
Note,
Well, let's go.
which is a Chinese TikTok. Okay, or
I'm
it's like an
ready.
Instagram, Pinterest.
Yeah.
And people are so petty because the big thing was like national, it's national security, your data, all that stuff like that. People are so petty that there are people who have just put like their social security number as their username.
Jesus,
That's fucking
that's
crazy.
stupid.
And
That's
I
fucking
assume a lot of
crazy.
that's just memeing, it's fake and stuff like that. But it's really funny how people on Red Note, like the Chinese nationals, they're like, "Hey, it's your Chinese spy here. Give me all your data. Give me all your data." Like, that type of stuff. We're back together. Thank you. But that's
now we have direct
but
conversations.
there's conversations currently brewing about what's going to happen with Tencent, and if Riot gets affected, oh my god, dude.
I'm so interested to see how that will turn
I
out.
do not want to fucking piss off League of Legends players, man.
I was gonna say you would make like literally probably a third of America riot.
They bullied Jack in one game when he was there. They were toxic to Jack in one of his games in League of Legends. Imagine what these people would do if you took that game away
to the
from
government.
them. It would be it would be insanity. But
there would be a riot.
Yeah, there would be a riot. But that's all I got. So I think in the end, just to kind of wrap everything up, watch Solo Leveling. I think everyone, I'll be more nice about it. I'll look forward to watching the rest of the season. I know Chibi's looking forward to seeing where it goes, and Jack is going to have the next Down the Rabbit episode.
I have 2 potential ones right now.
Good.
Chibi Hero.
Would you stop, Brad? And then we're going to talk about Nintendo and like their plans for the Switch 2 and whether or not how big is the Switch 2 going to be comparatively to the Switch 1 in terms of like sales and stuff like that? I think that's going to be a really big question because
I thought you were talking about like screen size too.
Oh, I mean, we can talk about specs also because there's a lot of things that like, when they brought the Switch OLED out and stuff like that, like there's a lot, dude, it's an 8-year-old system. There's a lot of things they can make adjustments with.
Oh, big time.
Oh, big time. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Everyone be nice to Chibi. Okay, she's putting in the effort. And with that being said, Brad, I want you to do the close. Like, let's go, Brad. We'll talk to you next time, folks.